Okay, so immediately I want to clarify what's unique about this video. There's a lot of videos using only one Pokemon to beat a game, so how's this actually only one Pokemon? Well, most of those videos have another rule in there allowing them to use other Pokemon for a jump move. For most Pokemon and most games, this is absolutely required. If you were to ask, can I beat Pokemon Blue with only a Magikarp? The answer is no. You can't get past all the trees, stupid. Unless you had a rule allowing use of Pokemon caught exclusively for using those HMs. But there are a few exceptions. In Generation 1, the only HMs required to complete the game are Cut, Surf, and Strength. Flash is only used to light up Rock Tunnel, which can just be navigated without it, and Fly is nice to have to travel easily, but not necessary. In Generation 1, there are 5 Pokemon that can learn all 3 HMs necessary. Krabby, Kingler, Lickitung, Dragonite, and Mew. Krabby seems the best challenging Pokemon to do a run with, so it's the one in the title of the video. Rules will be, I use the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Squirtle with Krabby. I can only use Krabby, no other Pokemon at all. No owning any other Pokemon for any reason. No items in battle. I think that's it. Pretty simple. I take Krabby from Professor Oak's lab and proceed to have the worst rival fight I've ever had. God, it was so slow. I start using the speed up partway through because I can't take it anymore. Krabby starts with only Bubble, which as a water type move is kind of nice. Brock will be easy, but it only has 20 base power and is resisted by my rival's grass type, unlike the normal type tackle or scratch you'd normally have. It also doesn't help that Krabby's stats are lopsided. 25 base special is very low. It means all our water type attacks will be pathetic. And it counts for our special defense too, so combined with our very low base health of 30, we'll be very frail to that. Speaking of weak water type attacks and very frail, here's me almost losing to a Pidgey on Route 1. I know I don't have to fight them, but it's kind of instinct to me to fight a few early wild Pokemon. I then have to go back to my mom to heal my Krabby because I'll fight with a single small bird. But it's not all bad for Krabby. Krabby has an incredible 105 attack. It's actually tied for 16th highest base attack in the first generation. It can nearly hit as hard as Mewtwo, physically. Especially Mewtwo is even stronger, and Krabby is absolutely pathetic at everything else except defense. Kind of a Cranidos of Generation 1. Problem is it won't be until we learn Vice Grip at level 20 that we'll get to make use of that attack. We'll get a slight upgrade to Bubble once we're in Mount Moon. Water Gun is an incredible double the power at 40. After that, our next target TM is Body Slam on the SSN. At least Bubble is water type for Brock, or I would not even be attempting this. Krabby does have some pretty good TMs though. Sword Stance, Body Slam, Generation 1 Blizzard, and while Crabhammer might look inferior to Surf with 5 less power and 15% less accuracy, Crabhammer has a boosted critical hit chance, and in Generation 1, that means near guaranteed critical hits. For Krabby specifically, it's 200 out of 255, or almost 80%. We're asked to take the parcel back, forcing us to walk through the dangerous Route 1 again. On my way back, I get curious and decide to fight a level 2 Pidgey. And incredibly, I'm able to win, with only losing a third of my health. I do need to think about training. I will have to actually fight Pokemon sometime between here and Mount Moon. Maybe I need to grind on Metapods. That sounds weird. After barely escaping Route 1 with my life, I heal at a Pokemon Center and enter Viridian Forest for my first trainer battle. It's a desperate battle for survival against a Weedle and a Caterpie. After defeating the Weedle with 13 health left, I think maybe I can do it, but slowly the poison takes its toll on me, and the Caterpie brings the battle to a torturous end. With a level higher, and hoping that the poison was just bad luck and won't happen next time, I make my second attempt at Bug Catcher Rick, as he would be named in later generations. By divine blessing, that bringer of death, the reaper in the form of a worm, Weedle's poison, does not visit me. I am victorious, but still wounded. I return to a Pokemon Center to heal again. I walk back through the forest and decide to skip the optional trainer to see just how powerful a 4 times bubble against Brock is as soon as I can. But I'm still left with one battle. The fearsome bug catcher Sammy. Just one Pokemon. Just one level 9 Weedle. But my Krabby has been through things that would make Mewtwo shudder. This Krabby has stared death in the eye and came back to try it again. So this level 9 Weedle was nothing to us. Emboldened by this, I push on to Brock the rock-hard Pokemon trainer's gym, but am met with an unforeseen obstacle greater than any I've faced before. Junior trainer Liam, holding a Diglett with a scratch that could kill Arceus. Krabby's incredible shell tanks one hit, but the cosmic forces battling against us are too strong. We have to train harder. I go back to Viridian Forest, ready to train relentlessly to reach the strength required for this impossible task. I seek out the bug catcher that escaped me the first time, the mighty Doug, strongest catcher in these woods. An epic struggle, but he succumbs to my Krabby's might. Then I turn on the wildlife of the forest. Krabby slaughters countless Caterpies and Metapods, until reaching level 10. So I just checked the footage and it turns out instead of the fight against, like, the junior trainer and Brock going into the gym and fighting them, there's like a recording glitch or something and I just have like 3 minutes of standing in a Pokemon Center. So, I mean, I'll still describe the battles, I guess, but can't really see what happened. Yeah, I don't know why that, I don't know why. Anyway. I return to the dread camper Liam. Seeing how his Diglett is tossed aside by my mighty Krabby, he takes to desperate, cheating tactics. Sand attack after sand attack. See my Krabby unable to land the final blow, but with such an overwhelming advantage in strength. It was just a short delay to the inevitable end. Junior trainer Liam's out of my path. Up next, the rock-hard Pokemon trainer himself. Brock's Geodude curls up in fear at the sight of me, helpless against my attacks, desperately tries to tackle and fails at even that. The Onix at least attempted to resist, but it was still no challenge at all for Krabby, Pinsir of the Seas, the Steel Claw, the Killer of Gods. So after beating Brock, I was pretty confident in my Krabby's abilities. I then went on and immediately lost to the very next trainer due to excessive sand attacks. I give it another try because I am definitely going to need experience points and reach level 20 to get Vice Grip to beat Misty. Turns out I got lucky the first time with how many sand attacks missed, but I did get targeted by less this time, so I was able to barely win with 3 health left. Then a difficult fight with Bug Catcher Colton that leaves me grateful that at least Caterpie and Weedle don't learn sand attack. But after that, a battle with the legendary I Like Shorts kid. Youngster Ben, or use a vile strategy even worse than sand attack. Wrap. In Generation 1, Wrap completely blocks the defender from attacking while it's active. If you're faster than your opponent and lucky enough to hit with a 90% chance, you can completely stop your opponent from attacking. Luckily, the evil monster only uses Wrap a single time, leaving us with a single hit point to survive the battle with. I then lose the next fight against Lass Sally's Nidoran, pretty soundly. Luckily, I can just fight a bug catcher instead and get a much easier fight. I also realize after this that, while I still want to get experience from these trainers, I can do something to make it a lot easier first. I fight the last pathetic bug catcher in my way and run to Mount Moon for TM12 Water Gun. This should effectively double the damage I deal. I go to test it out on the nearest trainer, and it gets disabled so I can't use it. I still win, but it was closer than I thought it would be. Jigglypuff is probably a bit too tough for me. But after that, things go pretty well. Even that Lass I lost to earlier is an easy victory with the extra power of Water Gun and a few levels. I finally get to a point where not every battle is so impossibly close that it needs to be recapped. I just go through Mount Moon kind of normally. Well, I do run into an oddish with Absorb that appears to be literally impossible to beat because it heals for more damage than I deal every single turn. But they're not mandatory, they can be avoided, I just ran into them twice because I wasn't watching carefully enough. I did also lose this fight to Team Rocket because we got confused and Krabby's dummy thick attack stat means hurting myself in confusion does way more damage to myself than I'm currently capable of doing to my enemies, so that just kills me. Even the final battle against the Pokemaniac is pretty easy, even with them disabling my water gun for half the fight. And at the end, I finally learned Vice Grip. I tested out on a random Paris that I knock out in one hit. Finally. Vice Grip isn't anything special, but just getting a physical move is something I desperately needed. Also, in between those events, I took the Dome Fossil. I knew that if I didn't say what I took, you'd all ask. Actually, now that I think about it, everyone asks anyway. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. I arrive in Cerulean City and decide to go after Misty first. Her gym trainers were pretty easy with Vice Grip, and Misty herself was too. Now that I get to use my physical attack, things are so much easier. And luckily, Misty decides to only use her physical attack too. I'm pretty sure she would be doing more damage using Water Gun, but I guess because she has good Gym Leader AI, she won't use a move that's resisted. Even though my defense is nearly quadruple my special, and her special is higher too. Would have probably just lost if she'd used Water Gun. We also have a rival fight immediately after this. I was expecting it to be harder than Misty, but let's see. At the start of the fight, I paused for a moment to think about whether Vice Grip or Water Gun is better if they're both type neutral. Vice Grip is higher power, and her attack is 3 times higher than her special, so yeah, it's definitely better. It's mostly an easy enough fight, but their Bulbasaur deals huge damage to us with a single Vine Whip, getting hit by both a weakness in type and in our special defense. Nearly defeats us, but we're able to beat them with just 2 Vice Grips. After that, things are super smooth sailing. I really can't say enough how big a deal Vice Grip is. We went from an extremely pathetic, worthless Pokemon to maybe the strongest first form Pokemon. I mean, looking at the list, the next highest attack from a first form Pokemon is Ponyta, Doduo, and Rhyhorn, tied at 85. There are a few Pokemon that can match Krabby's physical attack with their special. Abra has the same base 105, and Tentacool, Ghastly, Magnemite, and Ammonite aren't far behind. So maybe not the best first form Pokemon, but God, 105 base attack? Only at level 20? Feels really good. We just run straight through Nugget Bridge without healing at all, no challenge, just Krabby's Iron Claw. Also, at some point I got Bubble Beam, but didn't notice, so I upgrade my Water Gun a bit more. It should still be weaker than Vice Grip, but it'll help a lot against, like, Rock type. Anyway, I do the whole build thing and head down to Vermilion City, where I'm reminded we do still have flaws. Early game, you basically only find physical attacks, but now is about where special attacking enemies pop up. First was a Slowpoke that did the most damage to me of anybody on the way to Bill's house, which I didn't get footage of, and now I actually get beaten by a Butterfree using Confusion. Also Sleep, which is probably a big factor in my loss, but special attacks are something I have to watch out for. I'm also weak to Grass and Electric, which are both special types, so it's even worse than normal for water types. Also, the next gym is the Electric type gym, and the one after, the Grass gym. I'm probably going to skip Erica until I'm a higher level, but I'll have to figure out something for Surge. Here's a fun thing about Generation 1. I rematch that Butterfree and get poisoned. I then go on to have 2 more fights against 5 Pokemon total, and only take poison damage once. Because in Generation 1, if you knock out an enemy, you don't take poison damage that turn. Anyway, I make it to the SSN and immediately head for Body Slam. Well, I try to. I didn't actually know where Body Slam was and had to look it up after trying a few wrong rooms. This is going to be our best move for basically the whole game. It's possible Blizzard or Crabhammer could be better, but those both use our very low special. Sadly, the only physical moves Krabby gets are normal type, but at least Krabby can learn one of the best normal type moves. 85 power, 100 accuracy, and a 30% paralysis chance. And it's got an attack stat equal to our Snorlax behind it. A big upgrade to Vice Grip. I also see my first opportunity to evolve Krabby. When I started this, I really wasn't sure if I wanted to evolve it or not. It's the style really to not evolve the singular Pokemon run, so I think I'll be trying not to. Kingler would be a massive stat upgrade, which would make things a lot easier while still meeting the requirements of only using one Pokemon, even for HMs. But, yeah, I won't. There's a lot of optional fights in the SSN, and I go for all of them. That electric gym is coming up is a big threat, and I need to make sure I'm strong enough for it. I don't want to get cut, causing the ship to leave, only to find that I really need the extra training on it. One thing I don't need to worry about is the rival fight. Every Pokemon except Ivysaur is a one-shot with Body Slam. The Ivysaur could have done a lot of damage with its one turn to hit me, but it just used Leech Seed instead. So I go on to get cut, the first HM move in the beginning of the unique part of this challenge. I have to sacrifice my one Pokemon's move slots for these HMs. At its worst, I'll only have one free space for a non-HM move. For now though, it's no big deal, and I just delete the obsolete bubble and move on to Surge's Gym. I accidentally deleted Body Slam the first time. Turns out it's really easy to do that in Generation 1. Luckily I saved before the rival, so just had to do that easy fight again. This time Ivysaur used a Vine Whip and did half my health damage, so still not a problem. I use Cut for the first time to reach Lieutenant Surge's gym, as I effortlessly destroy every single gym trainer in there. I start to think maybe I overdid it on the training on the SSN. I also spend like 4 minutes stuck on the stupid trash can puzzle. Having that time to think about it made me realize this is the first gym puzzle in all of Pokemon. Brock and Misty are just straight lines with options to walk out of the way of trainers. This is the first real gym puzzle, and it's also the worst one. I mean, God, fucking check trash cans until you find a switch, then check another trash can and hope it also has a switch, or else you have to find the first one again? What does that have to do with Lieutenant Surge's electric Pokemon? He's not a garbage type trainer. Maybe the trash cans could fit into Koga's gym, but this is such a dumb concept. And where do the switches go when you get it wrong? In the first version, at least the second switch is always right next to the first switch, so there's a limit on it and it's easier to guess, but I still managed to get it wrong 4 times before making it through. This gym sucks. Oh, Lieutenant Surge, right. First 2 Pokemon just body slammed and defeated immediately. Raichu one-shots me back though, so I reload to see if I can get lucky and have him not use Thunderbolt. I get back to the Raichu and it uses Thundershock instead. Despite being less than half as powerful a move, it still nearly kills me. I prepare to keep trying again until he uses Growl instead, but he uses an X speed, so I win. Pretty weird battle. This is kind of the point in Kanto where I start to lose track of what I'm supposed to do. I think it's go back to Cerulean to use Cut on that plant that was blocking me from going east. Based off the trainers I'm fighting, that seems to be right. I finally start skipping optional trainers, both because I think I'm strong enough and can save time, but also Body Slam only has 15 PP. Anyway, we're back to a normal route where things are easy. That's nice. Till we get to our destination, Rock Tunnel. Unlike some people who've done this dozens of times, I have not memorized the layout of Rock Tunnel, and one of 2 HMs Krabby can't learn is Flash. Not that I even have it, I don't know where it is, so I have to go find a map online. As I'm fighting a bunch of optional hikers to get experience, because even Krabby's pathetic special is enough to beat my enemy's pathetic special combined with a double weakness to water, I get the move Crab Hammer. I choose to take it over Bubble Beam despite the lower accuracy. The extra power on par with Body Slam will be nice, and the high critical hit rate. In my test in the cave, I got 6 out of 8 attacks as critical, so pretty close to my previous calculation. With the power of Crab Hammer, even the dreaded mandatory hiker in Rock Tunnel with 3 Pokemon with Self-Destruct, destroyer of endless solo Pokemon runs, Hiker Dudley, is no match for us. I make it to Lavender Town finally and spend a bit of time enjoying the music. It's a really nice place. Then head to the tower for the next rival fight. With the addition of a Gyarados to his team, he's got another Pokemon that can survive 1 hit from my Krabby. My worries about the eventual champion fight go up a bit, but probably do a critical hit. We get the Ivysaur in 1 hit this time, so there's nothing to worry about. I'm again kind of unsure about what I'm supposed to do next, so I open up my town map to just remind myself of the possibilities where I could go, and as I struggle to operate the map, I quickly realized that if you just press up on the town map, it cycles through the exact path you're supposed to take through the whole game. Look at this. Did anybody know about this? This is the path you have to take, exactly in order. I mean, there are a few points in Kanto where it's more open and there are options, which is the reason why I'm never exactly sure what order you need to do things in. That and all the weird tunneling underneath Saffron City that makes your experience of the map distorted compared to the actual map. Anyway, it's westward to Celadon City next. Thank you, Town Map. I was really not expecting you to be that helpful. On my way there, I tried Guillotine for the first time since I got it ages ago. I thought I heard once that one-hit KO moves worked weirdly in the first generation and were maybe good, but I checked and no, it's just a 30% chance to hit and can't hit somebody faster than you. That's actually the worst version of one-hit KO moves that's ever been in Pokemon, so I'm looking forward to getting rid of that. I go into Erica's gym expecting to lose, but everything I find is actually really easy, so I start to get pretty confident, only to just get taken out in one hit by Petal Dance. So I go to the game corner to fight Team Rocket instead. Hopefully a few levels will be enough to either survive it or outspeed it. The game corner was pretty easy. A lot of ROM hacks just literally copy the exact floor puzzles from this hideout for some reason, so I've basically memorized them. What wasn't easy though was at some point I got poisoned and then I got lost, so I'm trying to find a way out while my health is slowly flashing away. And also I'm low on item space, but I have a deep urge to not throw anything away, and so I'm just trying to how can I fit all these items, and also I need to get out of here and sell some of them maybe, and it takes me forever to realize some of the items I'm holding are escape ropes, which I can use to just immediately get out and go heal the poison and get to a store. And so that was the hardest part of the hideout, really. It also took me until literally going to the store to realize this is Celadon City with the Celadon department store. It's a lot of useful items that I might need. First I go to buy Ice Beam, only to remember you don't buy it. You get it from giving water to a girl on the roof, so I can only get one copy. I don't necessarily need Ice Beam right now, but I might need it later, so I save the TM. I also buy 3 calciums because I really need to increase my special stat, and this will help with that. Then I buy the mandatory bribe to get into Saffron City, and stock up on lemonades in case I need healing items. Not for use in battle, of course, in between battle use. I then get lost trying to get back to the game corner and accidentally find a PP up in the woods. That will probably be helpful, but I'm saving it too. Anyway, I get back to the game corner, fight Giovanni. He's so easy he could be mistaken for a rocket grunt, not even worth covering. So I make my way back to Lavender Town and do the whole Pokeflute thing. It was also easy and very skippable. Then it's to Saffron City. I thought Sabrina would be open, but apparently not yet. I have to do the whole Silphco thing first. They really cram all the Team Rocket stuff right together in the middle of the game, huh? There's a big level jump for the enemies, but it's still really easy. I go out of my way to focus on getting some useful items. The rare candy and Carbos on floor 10, card key and protein on floor 5, HP up on floor 6, and something very special on floor 7. A calcium and TM3 for Swords Dance. A TM Krabby is capable of learning. We again don't need it yet, but Swords Dance combined with our attack? That could be really powerful later on. Partway through, I run out of inventory space, so I go to exchange the bike voucher for a bike, and realize that the bike is also an item in my inventory like the voucher. So then I have to go put things I had saved for later into the PC for saving for later. After all that, I attempt Rival Fight Fievel, and it's mostly okay, but Gyarados' Dragon Rage takes out a significant portion of my health, and a Psybeam from Alakazam finishes me off. I didn't even get to see his Venusaur. That's troubling. I was expecting to lose to the Venusaur, but not to not even make it. I try the fight again anyway. I lose again, this time to Alakazam's confusion without even having been weakened as much. My special stat is really bad, and I knew it would cause problems, but this is, I guess, when the problems really start. Still, I try again. I'm sure I can make it past the Alakazam and at least see how badly I lose to the Venusaur. I get my best attempt with all the Pokemon before Alakazam, only taking damage from one weak quick attack. Then I get to the Alakazam, and it uses Disable, doing absolutely nothing. So great! I make it to Venusaur in basically the best condition possible. Let's see if I can survive a hit from it. Oh, it doesn't even try to hit me, just Leech Seed again. Well, that's Generation 1 AI. I heal and go fight Giovanni. He's, really easy again. His first two Pokemon do at least survive one hit from us, but they don't manage to do anything with the brief life they're given before Krabby cuts it short. Sabrina's Pokemon are really weak to physical attack, which is great. I will definitely one-shot all of them, but they're also very fast and have very high special, which is what I'm weak to, so who wins is mostly down to who outspeeds the other, and I don't think my chances are good. So I train up to level 50 on her gym trainers before trying it. Immediately her Kadabra outspeeds me, which is really bad. They only do half my health and damage though, but they also confuse me, so this ran out, but I continue and am able to beat her other Pokemon pretty easily till the confusion catches up to me. I have to see what happens against the Alakazam. Looking at its moves, there should be basically a 50% chance it decides to do nothing instead of attacking me, allowing for actually a pretty easy win. Things go similar to last time, but without the confusion. I get to the Alakazam with kind of low health and paralysis, but if they don't attack me, then it doesn't matter. They do attack, but to my surprise, they deal almost no damage. I forgot that Psywave is so pathetic. In Generation 1, it deals a random amount of damage between 1 and 1.5 times the user's level, so here it'd be between 1 and 65 damage. If you'd just used Psybeam, I'm completely sure her 135 base special would have destroyed my 25 base special Krabby with no random chance involved. Anyway, things basically went as planned. Just have Sabrina not attack you. Easy win. Now don't worry, I didn't forget about Erica. I only kind of forgot about Erica. I did forget about her after fighting Team Rocket at the game corner, but I was only like 2 levels higher anyway. Now I'm like 11, so I'm definitely ready. I head back and, yeah, it's a complete sweep. No damage taken, just body slam the whole team. Next up, following my town map guide, it's the eastern road down to Fuchsia City. Or maybe the western road. I guess I'll take the western one, I'm pretty sure it's a lot faster. First I fight Snorlax, kind of a fun mini-boss normally. I really like the Snorlax fight. I beat it instantly. Whatever. And wow, Cycling Road is so much faster. Oh my god. Every time I play some kind of Generation 1 base game, I take the Eastern one for some reason, and it's so long. The longest journey between towns in the game by far. But Cycling Road, oh my god. A few quick fights, a minute of biking, and bam, you're there. I never thought about it before, really. I guess I had childhood memories of Cycling Road being hard, and so I just went the other way? It wasn't even hard though. I'm just immediately in Fuchsia City, ready to challenge the next gym. So I do. I decide to fight every trainer in the gym because they're both weak, but also higher level than any of the regular trainers I've fought so far. And I don't know if this is a bit silly, but they have a lot of Pokemon with high special stats, and in Generation 1 there's this thing called stat experience instead of effort values, where you gain a tiny amount of the base stats of every Pokemon you beat. So I really need special specifically, both for its attacking and defending purposes. So I fight all the Hypnos in this gym to try to get better at it. I don't know if these Pokemon are enough to really help with that, but hopefully this will make me a bit better. Anyway, Koga. All his Pokemon are pretty tough, high defense, so they all take at least 2 hits to knock out, but they don't really do anything to me. Sweezing hit me with Sludge once and did some damage, but that was a really easy battle. So the next step in the journey is to enter the Safari Zone to get the HMs for both Surf and Strength. I get the path a bit wrong the first time, so I have to turn around to get to the end. I get close, but I'm stopped 1 square away from the end. Imagine seeing this kid walk up to you to claim the prize, and he's about to open his mouth, but precisely 1 step before standing next to you, the PA rings, and he's physically removed from the Safari Zone. I make it next time though, and teach Surf to Krabby immediately. Normally Surf is the best water type move, but I'd say Crab Hammer's 8 times critical hit rate makes it better. Still I need Surf to progress right after this, so I teach it to Krabby. Immediately after I finish with the Safari Zone, I realize something. There's a rare candy I want in the house where you get strength that requires learning strength. So I should have learned strength first, then deleted it and learned surf. But whatever, I can delete surf, learn strength, delete strength, learn surf, right? I go up, look up where the move deleter is, and great, it's in Fuchsia City. FRLG only. Oh fuck. There's no move deleter in Generation 1? Fuck. This messes with my plans a bit. I'd been thinking ahead about the Elite Four. I need the 3 HM moves to get through the game, of course, but I don't think Cut is needed to reach the Pokemon League. So I was going to get Cut deleted beforehand, then surf all the way back through the Seafoam Islands to the League so I could get an extra move slot open. But if there's no move deleter, then all I have for the Pokemon League is Strength, Cut, Surf, and 1 open move slot. That is really worrying. I knew the kind of like a bit more interesting, unique part of this run where I have to manage my HM moves would start here, but I thought I'd come up with a clever way of getting another move for the final battle, only having 1 free slot. So I spent like hours thinking about what to do, like a 3-day break from playing this until I could figure out what to do, but then I finally realized I could put it off longer. I don't really need that rare candy yet. I was planning on getting it because it would be difficult to get later, but all it takes is go through Diglett Cave to Vermilion, the northwest, south to Fuchsia. Should be really easy to get back here if I really need that rare candy. Speaking of, I decided to try taking that path to get to Cinnabar Island, because all the wild Pokemon on the route through the Seafoam Islands are going to be annoying, and I might need strength to get through them. I'm not completely sure. I know you need strength to get Articuno. On my way through the route, I immediately run into what is probably the reason I remember thinking cycling road is difficult. Going upwards. It's a lot slower, and my Krabby gets poisoned in a fight early on, so I just slowly ride up as poison keeps flashing. I still make it through just fine though. This is a fairly easy way from Pokemon League to Fuchsia. On my way to Pallet Town, I encounter a level 3 Pidgey. I could run, but I body slam it to show how far I've come. Teach the Pidgeys what happens when you mess with kids from Pallet Town. I also say hello to my mother, who doesn't seem to care. I then surf over to Cinnabar Island. In Pokemon Mansion, I discover we have too much stat experience to take more calciums or carboses. That's good because it means we have a lot of special and speed, though bad we don't get an easy boost here. When I started the Pokemon Mansion, I kind of wondered why almost every single Pokemon video skips it. As I went through though, I found out why. There's just not much there, except annoying wild Pokemon that got me to buy some max repels to avoid them. I get the key to Blaine's gym and head in. I decide to skip all the questions and just fight the trainers for experience. I kind of regret it because most of them are giving less experience than wild Ponytas in the Pokemon Mansion. I fight Blaine and it's exactly how you'd expect with a water-type Pokemon that's nearly 20 levels above them. Sweep straight through without taking any damage. So he did have 2 opportunities to hit me. More notable in the fight is the badge boost to increase our special by 12.5%. A stat we really need any increases to we can get. So I surf back home and on to Viridian City. It's an easy fight through the Viridian Gym's trainers and, well, it's an easy fight through Giovanni. I barely have to talk about it, it's so easy. All his Pokemon are one-shots except for the Nidos, who are almost one-shots, and all he does with the 1 turn he gets is use Guard Specs, and I miss a cut on the Nidoking, who hits me with 1 Thrash. After beating Giovanni, I head back through Diglett Cave into the Celadon department store. I buy an HP up, an iron, and a protein. I just used an iron and a protein that I found with the Pokemon Mansion, so I was expecting to get results, but I find I'm unable to get anything more from the vitamins, so any more stat experience would come from grinding. That's okay again, but I wonder if maybe coming through here before I went through Giovanni's gym could have been better. A disappointing note before we begin our final arrival fight before the Pokemon League. I'm quite worried about the final rival battle. Our last one was our hardest fight yet, and it will probably just get harder. Enough thinking about it, let's just try it. It starts out fairly easily. We take a bit of damage from Pidgeot's Quick Attack and Gyarados with Bite, but we're handling things well until Alakazam. It just uses Reflect, which I think great, not an attack, but actually, Reflect is enough to keep Alakazam alive. From the looks of it, exactly enough. We take its health to half. Reflect doubles defense. If we can hit Alakazam twice, or without Reflect, that should take it down. But that won't be happening in this battle as we get hit by a critical Psybeam. I don't know if the critical hit was necessary. Psybeam is kind of weak, but our special is so pathetic I'd believe it if we got taken out without a crit. But we've got a chance of winning. I'll keep trying. Next fight starts off great with a critical hit on Pidgeot, who doesn't quick attack. One-shot Rhyhorn, get a Leer from the Gyarados, but that's fine because we don't even need our defense in this battle. We make it to the Alakazam, and it uses Recover, accomplishing nothing and letting us take it out in one Body Slam, leaving us with full health against the Venusaur. But it hits us with Razor Leaf. It crits. It takes us down in one hit. Just like how our Crabhammer gets a really high crit chance, Razor Leaf does too. But Venusaur has a higher base speed, so while we have about 80%, Venusaur has 255 out of 256, or basically 100%. So that wasn't really unlucky. It also wasn't unlucky that it used Razor Leaf. Venusaur no longer has Leech Seed, so we don't have that to save us. But it does still have Vine Whip, and in Generation 1, Vine Whip really sucks. Only 35 base power. Since our rival has good AI, he should always use a super effective move against us, so those are the only two possibilities. But it should be a 50% chance of the worthless Vine Whip instead of the one-hit kill Razor Leaf, so just keep trying. All we need is to beat Alakazam by chance and then beat Venusaur by chance. Our next try through, things go pretty normally, until we get to Alakazam, who hits us with a Psychic. I mentally give up, but am surprised to see us survive it. The crit earlier did matter. We can probably beat Alakazam most of the time. Surviving a Psychic from Alakazam, that's incredible. If our puny little special stat can do that, I'm a lot more confident about my future. But we still get hit by Razor Leaf. It's fine, I can try again. And another try, another death to Razor Leaf. But on our fifth try, we get something interesting. We take more damage than normal from Pidgeot and Gyarados. Alakazam uses Reflect, but we deal a lot more than half this time. It then uses Recover, recovering most of it, but we hit the Paralysis chance, meaning next turn we're faster, and we finish it off. But we're at really low health for Venusaur. It finally does use Vine Whip, and even with our low health, we barely survive, just 9 health left, and beat our rival. This has really increased my confidence. I think we can do this, especially after I finally break out the 9 rare candies I've been saving. Speaking of, it's finally time to teach Strength, which means saying goodbye to Body Slam. I already made the decision earlier, but I just wanted more time with Body Slam. Crabhammer is the highest damage I can deal to a Ghost-type Pokemon, so I think I need it for Agatha. Goodbye, Body Slam, I'll miss you. Go through Victory Road, and God, it's so slow and terrible, and encounters every 5 steps. Whatever, I make it to the Pokemon League. Let's assess our situation a bit. First, I sell some stuff and buy healing supplies. Then, I store everything I don't need in the PC and bring out some stuff I'd been saving. Mainly a bunch of TMs. I have Sword Stance, Toxic, Ice Beam, Blizzard, and Double Team. All moves I might need for something. However, I'm not really sure. I only have room for one non-HM move. If I use a TM, then I lose Crabhammer forever. If I then replace that one, I lose that one forever. So I'll be trying to go as far as I can without using them. My current plan is to try to get past Lorelei using Body Slam, Bruno using Surf, and then some safe scumming and crab hammering to get past Agatha. We have the limited moves that can hit ghost types, and a critical hit crab hammer, which happens 68% of the time, is the strongest one I have, outside of getting a critical hit with Surf, which is a lot less likely. I'm level 67, my attack and defense are great, my speed is okay, but my special, wow, my special is only 74. That's definitely the big problem here. I do have 9 rare candies, but I'm going to try without any first. Let's see if this is enough. We're off to an easy start against Lorelei's Dugong, barely taking any damage and taking it out in 2 hits. Her Cloister is a lot tougher. It's got the highest defense in the game, and her super potions are actually healing it for more damage than we deal. But it's nothing repeated blunt force attacks can't solve. I'm scared of her Slowbro because I've nearly lost to Slowpokes in the past. It doesn't hurt us, but it reduces our attack, which is really not good. It takes a lot of PP to knock out, so when I attack the Chinks, I decide to try Crab Hammer, as it's Lorelei's only Pokemon that doesn't resist Water-type moves. But I get really unlucky and miss twice, and don't crit the time I do hit, leaving me with low health for Lapras. I use Strength, but it's clearly not enough, and I'm knocked out. That wasn't too bad though. Slightly better luck could see a win, or maybe just using rare candies. I think I'll just use 6 of them and that should be enough to win a lot easier. Dugong uses Rest, so I use Cut to save Strength PP. I then have to waste a lot of it on Cloister, but my extra levels mean I do about as much damage as a Super Potion heals instead of less. Her Slowbro isn't able to do anything to us this time, just taking 2 strength and a cut. I continue using cut against Jinx to save PP, and she doesn't do anything to us, leaving us in great shape against the Lapras. We get confused, but it's not really a problem as we snap out of it quickly. With just a few strengths, take out Lapras, beat our first Elite Four member. Up next is Bruno, known by many to be the weakest Elite Four member by far. His team is just bad. The only good Pokemon on it is the Machamp, so I plan to just sweep through with Surf, and it went exactly as I predicted. Not much more to say. Onix is an extremely weak Pokemon for the Elite Four. The Hitmons are better, but their special is still so low that our Krabby can one-shot them with Surf. The Machamp was a real threat. I wonder if Cut would have dealt more damage than Surf. Strength definitely would have, and I should have used it a bit. I'm just trying to save PP since I have so few items to restore it. But everything is still fine, except for the part where we fight Agatha next. I'm really worried about Agatha. In Generation 1, Gengar has 130 special. In later generations, the special defense will be dropped down to 75, but for now, Gengar is extremely defensive against special moves, and we need to use special moves to beat it. I really don't know how this is going to go. We'll just have to try. Our first attack misses, and Agatha hits us with Nightshade. Other than Dream Eater, that's her only damaging attack on her Gengars and Haunter, so at least she doesn't get to use that massive special against us offensively. A critical hit Crab Hammer does about half damage to her Gengar, and luckily we're still unafflicted with the status effect. Another crit takes out the Gengar, and things are looking okay. I switch to Strength against the Golbat and am able to take it out in 2 hits. For the Haunter, it's back to Crab Hammer. We hit but don't crit and deal about a third of its health. We're put to sleep, but luckily we get back up immediately. It confuses us before our next turn, but we hit another Crab Hammer and also don't crit. It's unlucky, but I switch to Surf to get a more reliable final hit, but of course I'm still confused and Krabby hits itself. Luckily, Agatha does her thing where she switches Pokemon for no reason, so we don't lose a turn. I try to hit the Arbok with Strength, but I move wrong and accidentally hit Surf. It still does half damage, and we're not affected by the Arbok's Glare, so another Strength finishes it off, and it's just a Gengar and a weak Haunter left. The Haunter goes down to a single Surf. We're so close. Your Gengar comes out and tries to eat the dreams of an awake Pokemon, but counteracting that, Crab Hammer misses. Next turn, we get a Crab Hammer crit and only get poisoned. Just one more critical hit will do it, but we don't get that chance. Her Gengar finally attacks us with Nightshade and finishes the battle. That was really close, and it felt like I had pretty bad Crab Hammer luck. I knew I'd be relying on Crab Hammer luck and was willing to keep trying until it worked, so let's keep trying until it works. Okay, let's pretend that one didn't happen. Okay, ignore that one too. God. Finally, we get a good start with an immediate critical hit Crab Hammer into another critical hit Crab Hammer, knocking out the first Gengar without taking any damage. The Golbat confuses us, and we hit ourselves in confusion, but then the Golbat uses Haze, curing our confusion, allowing us to hit on the second try and beat the Golbat. Crabhammer does about a third to the Haunter. She confuses us, but we get a critical hit and do the other two-thirds. But against the Arbok, we hit ourselves in confusion twice in a row until we can hit Arbok twice with strength to beat it. Then we get a critical Crabhammer on Gengar and take it down to half health. But then Gengar hits us with Nightshade and brings us down to just 13 health. This is it, the deciding moment. And we get the critical hit, knocking out the Gengar and defeating Agatha. Basically, everything went perfectly, except for all that confusion. We almost lost if we had just taken a bit more damage from that Arbok, but there we go, that's what I was waiting for. I knew it would happen eventually if we kept trying. It only took 4, that's fine. So our next fight is a little bit difficult. I have 2 main ideas for how to get through it. My first plan was use a combination of Strength, Surf, and Blizzard. I think Blizzard is probably our highest damage against the dragons, definitely against the Dragonite. Second plan is to instead use Swords Dance and then sweep through with just Strength. I'm going to try without any TMs first to get an idea of how the fight feels, then I'll choose one. Okay, so immediately, actually I forgot to restore Strength to PP, but that's fine, this is just a test. 2 Strengths is enough to take out the Gyarados, that's good. And then 2 Cuts is enough to take out the Dragonair, and the second Dragonair. And 1 Surf is enough for Aerodactyl. It's only at the Dragonite that there are any problems. Cut still deals decent enough damage, and it won't attack me. It keeps raising its speed and defense, so my Cut doesn't deal much damage anymore, but if I get a crit, I would probably win. I probably should have tried Surf or Crabhammer to get past its boosted physical defense, but I nearly win by the time it finally attacks me with a Hyper Beam. I might not even need any TMs. I'm a bit disappointed, really, but I'll go for it. Okay, I think last time must have just been really lucky. I'm sure I could pull it off again, but that's not as fun. I think a lot more fun would be setting up a few Swords Dances and absolutely obliterating his team. I also used one of the rare candies I saved earlier. I saved them just in case I wanted to set up a badge boost glitch, which is a special generation 1 glitch with stat boosts that makes them more powerful, but I don't think I really needed it. Swords Dance 1. Gyarados uses Leer. Swords Dance 2. Gyarados uses Leer. Swords Dance 3. Gyarados attempts a Hyper Beam and misses. Krabby's attack has reached levels never seen before. 1 strength and Gyarados is sliced in 2 by Krabby's claw. Dragonair is cut in half by a claw that could kill Arceus. Another Dragonair falls. Strength against a rock type. No rock is strong enough to resist Krabby's claw. Krabby, cutter of dragons, killer of gods, pitcher of the sea, conqueror of Kanto, slices Dragonite in half with 1 pinch. I am unbeatable. I used my last rare candies. I healed for the final fight. Corfish, your death is coming. Why did I write that line? Whatever. Swords Dance 1. Pidgeot deals 12 damage. Swords Dance 2. Pidgeot copies me. Swords Dance 3. Pidgeot realizes the danger it's in. Pidgeot is cut in half. I've become faster than Alakazam! And now ride on to fall. Impossible. Pathetic. Gyarados destroyed. Arcanine destroyed. Venusaur. So difficult last time, but now I'm the most powerful being in the world. I have killed God and replaced them with a crab!